Dalawa yan. Either, yes, we can afford it because tama naman, we have to defend ourselves. Pero, baka in the process of defending ourselves, we're endangering ourselves. That's the irony here. Dati, nung wala tayong capability, wala naman masyadong umuumang sa atin. Pero ngayon, nandyan ang US na mga gamit ng US, nagmumukha na tayong competition. So, para sa akin, sige, kung mag-aarma tayo, lubos-lubusin na natin. Maglagay na tayo ng US military base dito at bayaran nila tayo. I-renegotiate natin ang presence ng US dito habang nagbi-build up tayo ng ating capability. Or, consequently, sige, wala na yung US na yan, or i-renegotiate natin yung ating VFA and other agreements with the US so that we can afford to defend ourselves because now we will have to. Medyo marami tayong topics today kasi yung iba dyan, they happened about 4 or 5 hours ago or 4 or 5 hours ago lang po ni-report. So let's get started. Number 1 on the agenda, of course, nililipat daw ang lugar kung saan nakatalaga ang mga Typhoon missiles ng US na nakatalaga sa Lawag. They're transferring it somewhere in Central Luzon daw or somewhere in Luzon, depending on the report that you read. So, ang tanong is, teka muna, kailan natin pinayagan to? Although hindi naman po illegal because we've noticed na regular po ang mga warheads dito. Walang nuclear warheads ang Typhoon missiles. These are the traditional devices that are used for the Typhoon missiles. These are mid-range. Okay, pero sakto nandun sila sa Lawag, meaning Northern Luzon, and medyo nagkaroon ng issue dito. Apparently, dumating itong mga Typhoon missiles na to April pa lang. At although may mga bulong-bulong na naririnig natin, pumasok sila, hindi ito i-confirm until as late as August or September. Diba? Kalain mo yan. At ang nag-confirm ay mga defense officials natin. But in addition to that, nag-react ang China as soon as na-confirm nga ng Philippine authorities na ang mga Typhoon missiles are here in the Philippines, completely in concurrence daw ang ating gobyerno. Meaning, nung pumasok yan, alam at pinayagan. Bahagi daw ito doon sa Visiting Forces Agreement at saka sa Mutual Defense Treaty. At it includes doon sa VFA ang pagpasok ng mga equipment which includes weaponry and material and other support. So ang paggamit ng ating mga military bases ay in accordance nga with both the VFA, in accordance further with the Mutual Defense Treaty. Kaloka, no? So apparently, long before na-inform ang Philippine public about this, ay nalagay na yung Typhoon missiles. They never even told us kung saan sila ilalagay. We just find out belatedly, andyan na nga, nasa Lawag pala, dahil nga may mga taong nag-report. Now, the question is, how does it affect our international relations? Of course, nag-react ang China nitong Setyembre at ang sabi nila is, magkakaroon ng arms race ngayon sa Southeast Asia. Bakit nila sinasabi yan? Kasi, there's a tendency, syempre, pag nag-aarma ang isang bansa, to protect themselves, dahil nagiging target yon automatically ng ibang mga bansa who have weaponry as well. So magbe-build up ngayon, pati yung mga ibang bansa, dahil matatarget ang Pilipinas, iisipin tuloy ng mga kapitbahay natin, kailangan na rin natin mag-arma. And the arms race means that you'll always want to have more weapons than the other guy. So tayo, hindi natin kaya yung capability na ganun, but our neighbors might have that, will have that capability. Is an arms race good for the world? Actually, no. Nangyari na yan in the 80s, di ba? Nagkaroon ng arms race. Everybody wanted to have nuclear weapons para for what we call, mutually assured destruction. So gusto nila ng mutually assured destruction. So kumbaga, mag-aarma ka in the hopes na yung mga kalaban ninyo will think twice kung kayo po ay aatakihin with these weapons because you can retaliate and sunog yung buong mundo. Now, the arms race pushed down the world to the brink of destruction. Kasi nga naman, most people, when they stock up on piles at some point, will get it into their heads that they want to use these things that they bought, these wonderful little toys, big toys actually, that they had bought, ay baka naman once in a while gamitin natin para hindi sayang, baka magka-idea ang mga tao ng gano'n. So, every time nagsa-stockpile ng weapons ang mundo, or at least ang isang bahagi ng mundo, it pushes us closer and closer towards a nuclear winter. At least ito, we don't know, given the world politics nowadays, if that's still going to be the trend, but that's the conventional thinking. tama si Ma'am Marilyn, parang because shortly after that, tama si Ma'am Marilyn dito, because because we have Typhoon missiles, ilang beses nang sinabi rin ng ating Pangulo na ay gusto kong bumili niyan. Para daw sa Pilipinas, kailangan mag-arma din daw tayo, just daw in case that the tensions with some of our neighbors might arise. Sure. Saan ba nanggaling yung ganyang klaseng thinking? So, in other words, nagpa-participate tayo dito sa laro ng US na na parang nagtutulak ng some kind of detente nuclear weapons or mutually assured destruction na naman kasi nakakabenta yung kanilang war industry at magiging customer tayo. So, Naiko. Okay. Kaya ba sabi ni Chacha nagkaroon ng war sa Middle East, sa Iraq, ganyan? That's about oil. Kasi pag maraming oil sa mundo, you can't command the prices. Ito. So, in addition to veering us away from friend to enemy to none, itong ating Pangulo has an unusually American style foreign relations. And we don't know if this is good for us. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. It might not be good for us. Di ba? Ito, sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, nakakapagtaka talaga na wala pa ding umaaksyon na i-investigate itong katiwalian sa budget sa nagmula ang magic. Well, para sa atin, it could be anywhere. That's why we have part of the topic for today is the President's role in the budget. So we'll talk about that. Tapusin lang po natin, wrap up na natin itong sa Typhoon missiles. So, lumitaw na naman itong issue ng missile systems na nandito sa Pilipinas, gawa nga ng ating magaling na presidente dahil siya po ang ang pumayag na pumasok yan and now has been wishful thinking out loud na gusto niya makabili ang Pilipinas ng ganyan. Ito sabi ni Ma'am Rose, the installation of the US Typhoon missile system in Lawag has significant implications for regional geopolitics. Somebody is using AI, particularly affecting neighboring countries and China. The Typhoon missile system, capable of destroying Tomahawk and SM-6 missiles, have been placed in the Philippines to enhance its defense capability and interoperability with the US. Ma'am, bitin po, hindi po na yung ng buo. Sabi ni John, eventually hindi maiiwasan yung pag-armas ng Pilipinas. Totoo naman to. Sabi ni Jacinto, this is a good point. Minawasan na ang budget ng AFP, saan kukuha ng pambili? Kung sa bagay, gagamitin na lang ni BBM yung mga kuwiti sa Bukawi, Bulacan. You know what's equally worrisome? Is that very, very quietly, binawasan yung mga pensions ng mga military retirees. Hindi po ginugod ang wifi ko, binago ko po. Kasi yung isa, I switch back and forth. Sabi ni Maverick, naghihirap na nga ang bansa, kaya nagbebenta na sila ng ari-arian ng gobyerno, tapos bibili pa ng missiles. Oo, tama. Yung mga ari-arian na yan, kailangan pag-usapan natin yan. Diba? That would be part of the discussion. Well, later on. Sige. Move on na tayo from the missile system. So, dalawa yan. Either, yes, we can afford it because tama naman, we have to defend ourselves. Pero, baka in the process of defending ourselves, we're endangering ourselves. That's the irony here. Dati, nung wala tayong capability, wala naman masyadong umuumang sa atin. Pero ngayon, na nandyan ang US na mga gamit ng US, nagmumukha na tayong competition. So, para sa akin, sige, kung mag-aarma tayo, lubos-lubusin na natin. Maglagay na tayo ng US military base dito at bayaran nila tayo. I-renegotiate natin ang presence ng US dito habang nagbi-build up tayo ng ating capability. Or, consequently, sige, wala na yung US na yan, or i-renegotiate natin yung ating VFA and other agreements with the US so that we can afford to defend ourselves because now we will have to. Sabi ni Ma'am Marilyn, before nagka-war ang Ukraine, ang baba ng US dollar. Pero now ang taas dahil lahat ng countries sa Europe, ang daming binibili at order ng mga weapons at mga kagamitan pang giyera kaya tumaas ang ekonomiya ng US. Ngayon, ang Asia naman ang target nila, ginagamit ang China versus Taiwan at ang Philippines. Sabi ni Carlo, so happy to see your post. I was not surprised with the statement of the Senate President. Defensive stance, agad nakakatawa. O nga eh. So sige, let's go on to that. So with us, kumbaga medyo mixed bag yung foreign policy ng ating Pangulo if you're going to align it with our national defense profile. Dati, hindi tayo masyado nangangailangan ng depensa kasi nga we had good relations with everybody. Hindi tayo nagpapahatak doon sa mga bansa na maraming kaaway. hindi tayo hindi tayo kumbaga, the independent foreign policy protects us from the negative effects of aligning with certain countries na may mga kaaway. Sana yung wala tayo munang kaaway habang dahan-dahan tayo nagbi-build up ng defense capability natin. Yun po, yung from 2016 to 2022, yun po ang ating foreign policy. Magpalakas, mag-build up tayo, habang and in the meantime, habang wala pa tayong capability na tayo yung maging siga ng ng neighborhood natin, we play nice. Sabi ni Ma'am Ola, good evening. It's so funny that we're so against China. Well, in fact, Trump said in an interview today that he's actually okay with China in talks to the president. Yes, as a matter of fact. And they're setting new ground rules for their foreign relations. I mean, Trump has still set the hardline stance that they will impose higher tariff rates on their importations and they'll stop giving money away to other countries. So dapat tayo, on guard na tayo. Obviously, yung renegotiation of our bases and our visiting forces will no longer be feasible anytime soon. So what should we do? What we're getting, ang nangyayari is we get none of the benefits, like no money, and all of the problems, like the danger to our country with the presence of the US forces here. Sa totoo lang, if we tell the US, could you send your soldiers home? This president, in his previous presidency, ayaw niya ng foreign troops. Ayaw niya na papadala ng sundalo abroad kasi mahal. So, and besides, di ba, ano yung stake nila? Kailangan maliwanag ang stake ng US sa isang lugar para magpadala sila ng sundalo doon. Sabi ni John, sa arms race na yan, China nangunguna. Sa isang main Navy ship ng Pinas na na-acquire ang China kahit 5 Navy ships. Bili lang tayo for defense, wag lang papabuyo sa US. Correct. Tsaka iwasan natin ng war rhetoric, quiet lang while building our muscles. Correct, di ba? Besides, wala namang mawawala if we play nice and negotiate economic agreements. Sabi ni Arfas, do you think yung Chinese spy daw na nahuli para malihis tayo sa presyo ng pagkain, etc.? Actually, hindi ako palo parati dun sa mga nalihis. It has to be large scale and really If it was lihis, they fail sila. But you know what I think? I think they're trying to make it look like they're actually working. Yun na para pakita ng gobyerno, may accomplishment kami, meron kami na huli who is a threat to national security. And hindi ba sabi ko sa inyo, kalaban ng China, ayan, may nahuli kami. Actually, yung manipis na argument din panglihis lang yung ganun ka nuanced na operation. Kung lihis lang yan, mahina. Pero tingin ko it's more like pinapakita nila na may capability silang magtrabaho. Kasi yun ang kung mag-search kayo across social media, one of the common impressions ng mga tao sa administrasyon na ito is reactive lang sila. Reactive, they're just reacting to everything. But they're not actually doing anything. Di ba? Have you noticed? Has anybody been saying, ang galing-galing naman ng presidente, nagawa niya ito, kahit ito na lang. Di ba? So, ang tahimik ngayon about this, wrap up lang natin yung issue ng typhoon. What is unusual is the silence of the Senate on the missile systems. Well, the president, of course, is the architect of our foreign relations, pero yung manner in which the treaty is being enforced can be questioned by the Senate. Yan, sabi ni Home Diva, looking aids as if doing something, di ba? Sabi ni BDJ, Mion, vibes and concerts lang, correct. Sabi ni Jacinto, nag-announce si Trump ng 90-day suspension na magbigay ng aid sa ibang bansa. Ano pang aasahin natin? Wala. Ang next move niyan, hindi na sila sasali sa gulo ng ibang bansa, friends na uli sila with China. It seems to me that would be a good move for now. Tingnan nila kung ano lang ang kaya nilang gawin. Baka naman they can enrich their trade. Baka naman, pwedeng meron silang bagong trade agreement na hindi sila magtataas masyado ng pwedeng favored nation status pa rin ang China, pero dapat may mutual benefit ang US dyan. They might renegotiate that, you never know. But I think that's where it's going. Okay, so itong issue na nagbebenta ng ari-arian, so pasok muna natin yung issue na ito. Remember early this year, nung nag-raise tayo ng alarm, ang housing, yung Department of Housing and Urban Renewal, in-announce na nila, inamin na nila, na hindi nila kaya i-fulfill yung 1 million housing units per year na gusto ng presidente, na in-envision ng presidente. Kaya daw si SEC ang natalaga, si SEC San Jose, ang naitalaga bilang kalihim dyan sa housing and urban renewal ay para ma-ensure yung housing at magkaroon nga ng 1 million housing units per year. Hindi po yan ma-fulfill o ma-comply. Ang dahilan wala daw property, wala daw lugar na pagtatayuan ng mga housing units. Oh, how convenient. Bakit convenient ito? Eh, what have they been doing all this time? Wala naman pala silang lugar para tayuan yan. So, in 2022, o let's say bago pa yung Marcos administration, hindi sila masyado nakaumang, kalahating taon lang yan. In 2023, what did they do? Wala naman tayong nakita ng mga negotiations to purchase mga lugar or whatever para sa ano, para dito. Or gamitin ang mga government property for these 1 million housing units. And surprise, surprise. So nag-announce si Presidente, o sige, ganito na lang. Let's put to use the government property. Inventory natin lahat ng real estate property ng gobyerno at gamitin yan for housing. O take note, gamitin yan for the housing units. Gets ko yan. Okay lang yan kung gagamitin niya yan for housing units. Pero ngayon, ang sabi ni Secretary Ralph Recto, ay gagamitin na yung mga government property na ito para ibenta. Guess why? Kasi walang pera ang executive. Kulang sa pera ang executive. Remember, sinabi ng Pangulo, pupunuin niya daw yung mga budget ng mga executive agencies. Saan siya kukuha ng pera? There's only so much that the unprogrammed funds can give him. And in addition to that, pati yung unprogrammed funds ay pinapakialaman po ng Kongreso. So where is he going to get that? Apparently, they might be getting it from the sale of property. Now, bakit tayo nagdududa parati sa sale ng property na yan? Kasi ang daming daya na nangyayari. Yung biglang maririnig nyo na lang na napakamura ang pagbenta ng mga prime property ng gobyerno. Parang na-fire sale. Naging issue yan panahon ni Ramos, ni Presidente Fidel Ramos. Diba, nakaliwat kanan, nagbebenta ng kung anik-anik ng gobyerno, and let's not forget BGC and other military camps na gusto ngang ibenta to the private sector. Marami raw, ang kumita dyan daw. Sabi ni Haney, Afghan refugees processing binitiwan ni President Trump. I think suspended muna yung programa na yon. Fortunately for us, yung 200, kung di ako nagkakamali, na dumating ay na-process out right away. Mukhang minadali nilang makaabot dun sa US kaagad bago umupo si President Trump. So I don't know how they're going to do that now na nandun yung sa which means na walang makakapasok muna sa ngayon ng mga Afghan refugees dito sa Pilipinas habang suspendido pa yung program. Sabi ni Nelson, why did Germany donate numerous heavy mobile artillery and the US stationing super sophisticated medium-range missiles? Will the Philippines be the next battleground of the superpowers? Well, I hope not. Which makes our problems, our issues of leadership significant. Bakit significant? Well, because precisely that. Ang problema natin is the leadership. Unusual yung ating foreign relations, and to some quarters, it actually comes out as dangerous. Parang nakakabahala. Kasi, parang, pasensya na dun sa mga sa medyo conservative mag-isip, but frankly, much of the foreign policy appears to be a sellout. We are selling out. Kumbaga, pati ito, naaalala nyo ba, nung 2023, tumataginting yung issue ng 2023-2024, tumataginting yung issue ng People's Initiative. Alam nyo ba, ng isang target dun sa People's Initiative was, di ba, the economic provisions. And one of them was about foreign ownership of land in the Philippines. Now, katulad ng parati nating sinasabi, ang lupa ay finite resource. Ibig sabihin, pag nabenta mo na lahat yan, wala, hindi ka na makakagawa ng additional. Limited ang capability for reclamation, and really, do you want your citizens living in the water or under the water and so on unless they're cultural communities? So, one of them was because pinag-iinteresan ng ilang mga real estate companies and so on, itong mga pagbebenta ng lupa na hindi ibenta, kumbaga, to foreign companies and foreigners in general. Mahihirapan na tayong mabawi yan. So that was one of the reasons for the proposal for charter change. Sabi ni Rafael, they're supposed to go buy property, correct, for that purpose. Sinungaling na B, sabi ni Sir Rafael. Thank you, sir. You're very articulate. Tama po kayo. Imbis na nagbebenta tayo ng property para may housing ang ating citizens, nag-a-acquire tayo ng property, and ultimately, you get them to pay you back. Hindi naman libre dapat ang housing natin. We just give people a leg up. Tulungan namin kayo para magkabahay kayo. Pag naka-asenso na kayo, either you pay rent on that or you acquire it, you pay for it. So, ewan ko. Okay. Ma'am, chill lang. Sabi ni Ma'am Pinay, I really don't see any war with China coming in the near future. Ang problema sana ng Pilipinas, lalo na sa matadinagang budget, ang pagtuunan ng pansin, lahat ng issues na pinapalabas, diversion lang. Wag, Ma'am, chill. Kaya nga nandito tayo. So don't worry. Well, I'm glad to see that you're really concerned about what are the most pressing issues, but also understand this. One of the most pressing issues is that the president who is in charge does not appear to understand how to solve our problems. One problem is this foray into international relations that is endangering us. In addition to, ito na nga, the budget is also endangering us. Why do I use the term endangering? Because there are people who are designated, there are groups designated to protect the people. I hope you understand what I mean. Sabi ni Sir Jaime, fake na Chinese military uniform, fake pati pagbangga ng barko ng China sa Philippine Coast Guard natin, fake na spy equipment, fake na mga spy, simula pa lang, nandoloko na sila, kaya nga nabudol tayo. Alam ng mga dilawan na sinungaling sila Marcos. Kailan tayo naniwala ang mga Pilipino ngayon naman naniniwala ang mga dilawan sa mga Marcos? Wala tayong ibang maasahan magtanggol sa Pilipino kundi tayo rin. Correct. Sabi ni Ma'am Alice Calvadores, PBBM is busy doing nothing. Now, of course, ito na nga, other distractions. So, in-announce ni, a few hours ago lang, in-announce suddenly na naman ni DOJ Secretary that they are now quietly talking with the ICC. Sabi ko na nga ba, and of course, lahat kayo rin, alam natin yung kanilang style. Ay, nakapunto si FPRD. Puntos na puntos dahil hindi nila masalag yung issue ng mga blankong bicameral conference committee report. Noong una sinasabi nila, hindi yung GIA yung blanco, ganyan, we didn't sign a blank GIA, etc. Hindi umandar, hindi umubra. Kasi kahit yung traditional media, alam na nila, sige, it is the BICAM report. So wala na yung he's lying na yan. Maliwanag na kung sino ang nagsisinungaling dito. So hindi na nga nag-work yun, what are they doing? Yung first na ginawa nila na yung sinasabi nila na na paglilihis ng issue, yung impeachment. Ayun na naman, yung mga ganon. Ay, kung anik-anik pa. Of course, later on, meron pa silang, earlier on, may pa-disbar pa. Meron pang mga, ngayon, at pinag-initan na naman si Colonel Grijaldo, na pati ba naman yung, Pati ba naman yung right against self-incrimination? May lecture series pa sila, kakaloka ha? Bakit kaya? Bakit nililecturean nila si Colonel Grijaldo right against self-incrimination? Kasi every time may tatanong siya, sa kanya, sinasagot niya a little bit, tapos ay tama, traffic daw, sabi ni Wang Bu. Yung isa pang pang-distract, traffic daw ang Davao, one of the most trafficky. Kung anik-anik pa. So ito na nga, with Colonel Grijaldo, sinasabi nila na mali daw yung paggamit niya ng right against self-incrimination. So kino-contempt na naman siya. Ang tanong ko, Mr. Congressman, Mr. Congressman, alam niyo po ba? Kasi sa totoo lang, hindi po kayo ang magsasabi kung kailan niya pwede gamitin yung right against self-incrimination. Siya na yung gagawa. At kung kayo po ay hindi kayo sang-ayon doon sa paggamit niya, edi kasuhan niyo siya para ma-enrich ang ating jurisprudence at masabi natin na, ayan, tama kayo. Pero the presumption is in favor of the person who claims that right. In this case, it was Colonel Grijaldo. Ay, sabi ni Ayami Hanavi, gayahin po sana ng Pilipinas ang housing ng Japan. Madaming politiko na mamasyal sa Japan at nakikita nila na maganda at maayos. Sana gayahin nila housing, health, pension, kahit ano na lang ang palusot ng Quadcom, sabi ni Ma'am Alice. Sabi ni Tim, grabe na po sila, attorney. Kawawa naman si Colonel Grijaldo. I'm thinking of how we can help him out. Hinangag Festival says, Attorney Honorable po, magalit sila pag MR. My eyes just have a tendency to roll back in my head every time there's something like that. Tapos sabi ni Miguel, China complained to the Philippines about the spy or espionage issue. Then ang Department of Tourism nag-complain, bakit konti daw ang Chinese tourists sa Pinas? Nakakaloka. Good point. Sabi ni Eric Robert Santos, meron pa sinabi sa kanya, nabibigyan daw siya ng lawyer para masabihan siya paano gagamitin yung right to self-incrimination. Susme, and yung mga basic rights like the right to counsel of your choice. Sus Mariosep, bibigyan pa siya ng lawyer. As if naman you can trust any lawyer that will be given by the Quadcom, Ay, paano gagamitin yung right to self? Sila kaya magdemanda na lang sila. Kung sa tingin nila tama sila, if you have, sabi ni PRD, if you have the evidence, go ahead and file your case. Sabi ni Ma'am Marilyn, may news about si US President na lahat ng foreign policy ni Biden, President Biden, ay di itutuloy, lalo na hihigpitan ang mga refugees, kaya ang mga pinapasok ng tamba ng mga refugee mukhang sa Pinas na sila tatagal. Pero may announcement a few weeks ago ang US Embassy na yung dumating na Afghans ay na-process out na nakaabot na sa US. Sabi ni Ma'am Viana, may interview si Raul Manuel, si Congressman Raul Manuel. Nag-ask ang anchor, do you agree na tama ang sabi ni VP Sara na si Romualdez at Coa may decision sa budget? He didn't want to agree, but in some way, nag-agree din siya. Sabi ni Bebs, in short, words sa Quadcom, bida-bida. Sabi ni Ma'am Alice, parang takot ang Quadcom mag-file ng kaso. Sabi ni Ma'am Josephine, can Colonel Grijaldo ask the Quadcom to simply file their case in court and to be freed from detention? He can ask, but I doubt if they will agree to it. And if they make a wrong decision or the decision is attended with grave abuse of discretion, it will be Colonel Grijaldo naman ngayon who will have to file the case. Sabi ni Hadwick, Madam, I campaign for no vote for young guns, including members. Bakit past tense? Pwede bang tuloy-tuloy ka magkampanya for no vote for Quadcom and young guns? Young guns, whatever. Diba? Huwag kayong titigil. So, yun. No. So, Colonel Grijaldo, nililecturan pa nila on what constitutes the right to self-incrimination. Balik tayo dun sa ICC. Now, alam natin dito sa ICC, na talagang pinupush nila and they want to be able to show na na nakakatakot yung ginagawa nila. Kaya ginamit ni Sec Boying yung term na committee. Ito yung sabi niya. We will talk to them soon in a very well-defined manner in the spirit of committee. Some people are trying to bridge the divide to bring us together so that we can sit at the table. Originally kasi wala ang policy ni PBBM ay no talks, no jurisdiction talaga ang ICC. Now, here's what's well, not shocking, pero this is why I think na style nyo bulok. Kasi si Sec Boying is under the principle of qualified political agency. Siya po ay kinatawan ni PBBM. What he says is what the president says. What he articulates is the president's policy. So if the president's policy is very clear, ang polisiya ng Pangulo, no jurisdiction ng ICC, why are you looking for common ground with the ICC? Style nyo bulok, halatang-halata kayo dahil napahiya kayo dun sa issue ng BICAM report, eto na naman, nananadya na naman kayo. Kunwari, nananakot kayo na, ICC. Mamaya niyan, or by tomorrow, lalabas na naman yung mga trolls at sasabihin nila, ICC is waiving. Style nyo bulok talaga. Kasi you don't even know how to hide it a little. Kakahiya yung inyong propaganda machinery. Pagka propaganda, we're not supposed to be able to detect the strings. We're not supposed to be able to see yung style ninyo. Kaso, ganyan kayo. O, ayan. Ano daw? Sabi ni Virgo, paano yun, attorney, pinilmahan niya na GAA na walang budget? Meron po. Ngayon nilagyan niya ng budget. Kulang lang po. Pumirma pa siya doon. No po. Hindi po ganon. Maliit yung budget na binigay dun sa ibang mga ahensya kasi nga, either kinakaltasan ng Kongreso o nag-iipon sila para meron pang ayuda. So, binabawas nila yung budgets ng iba't ibang mga ahensya. Ang sabi ni PBBM, isusoli niya or pupunuin niya yung National Expenditure Program, yung mga pangangailangan ng mga ahensya. Ang problema, the President is not a legislator. Ang legislator lang po ang pwedeng magtalaga or magpuno, kumbaga, ng budget. Kasi you have to do that by passing a law. So, saan niya kukunin yan? Well, one, pwede niyang kunin dito sa sa unprogrammed funds. The other is, well, you'll still need a law kasi kaya na ang reklamo or ang teorya na pina-float nila is that itong pagbebenta ng mga property ng Philippine government is para mapuno ang budget nito or uutang. Okay? So, ayan. Nako, humanda kayo. Para sa akin, hindi tama yung sinasabi na, bakit pa natin patatagalin sila? By the time nasimot na yung kaban ng bayan. Ang kaban ng bayan, pinupuno yan because that's why you have taxes. Taxes are the lifeblood. So, income is a flow. The government has income. Mas matakot tayo pagka sinasabi nila, umuutang na sila para doon sa ating budget. Kasi pag umutang tayo, and then you have nothing to show for it. O halimbawa, umutang tayo para punuin yung budget. Pero yung budget, puro puro ayuda. Anong naitutulong ng ayuda? Inflationary nga yan, sabi ni Kong Ungab. Nakakapahirap pa sa taong bayan. Nagdi-devalue yung pera natin because there's too much money going around. But there's not enough product. There's not enough, hindi nag-i-increase ang productivity natin. And wala kang maipakita, uutang ka para dyan sa budget. Yung budget puro ayuda or hindi naman nila sinastop yung corruption. So, nawawaldas lang. yung national budget, pero umuutang tayo for that. So at the end of it, when we pay back, itong utang, okay lang sana kung umutang ka, ay maglalagay ka ng pen. O maiaangat tayo, uutang ka para more equipment, i-upgrade yung mga hospitals, all of that. Okay lang, meron tayong maipapakita. Pero yung umuutang ka para sa national budget, which is really mostly the day-to-day functions of government, or ayuda, ay wala tayong maipapakita. You don't put yourself in debt for something that you will not generate income for you or give us something beneficial for the people. Sabi ni Hinangag Festival, tumigil na nga siya kakalakbay kasi pinaasa na lang siya ng ibang nasyon para di sumakit ang loob. Sabi ni Babes, billionaire Elon Musk Space Exploration Technologies Corporation is expanding in the Philippines, 15 billion by offering satellite broadband services to businesses and the government, PayPal, SpaceX. Hello, nandito na nga ang meron na nga silang mga binibenta. So, and they started last year pa. Di ba? So, they're already here. Sabi ni Soy, pwede bang ibalik ang death penalty sa Pilipinas? Yes, nasa saligang batas yan. Hindi siya pinagbabawal, pero kailangan magpasa ng batas ang Kongreso. However, yung pinopost na na clickbait lang naman yung kongresista na nagpropose ng death by firing squad, yung unaliving by firing squad. Kasi si strike down yan ng Korte Suprema. Because mako-consider siya na cruel and unusual punishment. Ulitin ko, baka ma-consider siya na cruel and unusual punishment. So yung pagdidiwang ninyo na meron magpa-file ng bill na ganito, wag po kayong magpadala. Yan po ay clickbait. Pinapakita nila na sang-ayon kami sa inyo, taong bayan, fa-file ko tong bill na to. It will never get passed into law kasi either matatalo yan sa Senado, if not sa Kongreso pa lang, or the Supreme Court will strike it out. Pagka-firing squad yan, cruel and unusual punishment na matinding pinagbabawal ng saligang batas at iba't ibang mga konbensyon kung saan signatory tayo. So, paasa lang yun. Gusto niyang mapag-usapan, o di sige, file siya ng bill na alam niyang hindi matutuloy. Sabi ni Ma'am Marie Serafico, si Recto nagbebenta na naman ng property ng government kahit maliliit, papatusin pa rin. Napakawalang hiya din yan. Sabi ni Ma'am Criselda, defensive si BBM, dapat sinabi niya kay PRD, paimbestigahan niya muna para kung totoong accused siya, hindi he's lying. Well, ang isa pa, hindi ko pa pala nababanggit, tungkol dun sa ICC. Ang gagaling naman itong mga to, paano siya i-ICC? Finailan siya ng kaso sa hukuman. Di ba? Yung pag-file ng kaso sa hukuman, manalo o matalo, yan po ang yan ang magpapruweba na umaandar ang sistema ng hukuman natin. So, pag nila ng ganyan, pagpasok nila ng ganyan, di ba yung mga kaliwa din yung nag-file ng kaso sa hukuman yung violation ng human rights against PRD. O ngayon, pag-uusapan ninyo yung ICC. Don't the local courts take precedence? Parang hindi halatang halata na ito ay media operation lang. Sabi ni Viana M, ever since walang bisita si PBBM sa Filipinos abroad, lahat ng bisita niya walang meet and greet, galit na kaming mga OFWs out of touch. Meron siyang dalawa po. Yung nasa Indonesia kami at yung nasa New York kami. Pero nung wala na ako, wala na siyang ganon. Yan talaga yung winner mo, Sir Alan. Anong mangyayari sa mga print na libro ng GAA kung may problema pala dun sa BICAM, baguhin ba uli yun? Sir, yan talaga yung Siyempre. O, di ba? Of course. Pero yan talaga yung inalala mo, yung mga libro na na-print na. Which I don't know if it's true kung naumpisahan na yung printing yan. Hindi agad yan makakalabas. Basta makakuha ng kopya, kahit soft copy, inaalaw yan. May pa-EJK pa sila, tapos magpapasa pa ng batas na may firing squad. Patawa na talaga ang mga Tolonges. Correct. Sabi ni Soy, gaano po katagal matapos ang isang corruption case sa Pinas o ilang years po ang process para mahatulan? Iba-iba po, depende. Unang-una, ano yung mga elements that you have to consider? Ganong kalaki yung docket ng hukuman? So kung Sandigan Bayan yan, how many cases are before the Sandigan Bayan? How much evidence ang kailangan kilatisin, ilan ang witnesses, ilan ang akusado, and so on. So you can say there's no one formula for every for every case. Sabi ni Marlon, by the time BBM's term ends, he would have passed FEM's Guinness Book of World Records. The sad part is nobody is stopping them. Have a great week ahead po. Ang problema ko sa mga taong nagsasalita ng ganito is you don't know. Your only evidence is what you can see. I get that because that's how you witness something. Pero inaano mo lang, you're just making people lose hope by saying that. Just because you don't see something doesn't mean it isn't there. Sabi ni Paddington, ang ginagawa ng admin is solving the problem with another problem. Sabi ni Chel, pwede po ba managop mga bycam dahil sa blank na budget? Yung mga pumirma ng blanco. Pero, yeah, siguro as part of, kung criminal case, falsification, something like that. Sabi ni Bingkol, di ba may death penalty na tayo noon kay Echegaray, bakit nawala? Panahon ni Presidente Gloria, pinasuspend niya at tapos revoke niya sa Congress. Inano na siya, tinanggal siya. I think it had something to do with international obligations. Meron siyang mga kausap abroad.